are tuned in to New Stars with Neil Clark playing the up-and-coming artists first. Hear their stories before anyone else.
Coming up on today's show.
In myself and I, you know we'd rather die than to hear it said that you don't love me. Me, myself and I, our hearts would break and we'd cry. There'd be more tears than all the stars above me. I'm not a romantic, my minds are all made up. You could fill my cup if you said you love me. One of me is frantic, the other two are too. I could swim the Atlantic if only you said I love you. Me, myself and I would be one happy guy, and all it takes is thinking.
Love is the answer. In our arms, in our hearts, in our lives, that's the chance we must take. And I've taken mine. You're my light at the break of day. Here I go, falling all over you again. Lord, it never ends. Go and hold me if you're here to stay.
Fly on, my little angel. Fly high out into the midnight sky. Fly on, my midnight angel. Your heart will be a part of me, a part of me. The only way I can hold you in actuality is loving you forever. That's reality. And as I dream about you, of someone real and true, there will never be an Does your wife have a close friend that's all alone? 'Cause if she does, you know I like to use your phone, your telephone. I don't have a car and I need a place to stay, a place to stay. Maybe a smoke on hand to blow the world away. I'll be back someday and I'll pay my way. Then I won't have to hear them say, my friend, you're a mooch. I'll be back someday and I'll pay my way. Then I won't have to
Hello, I'm Neil Clark and welcome to the New Stars show. You may recall December last year, the most famous musician you have never heard of, guest Andy Cahan, came onto my show and talked about his life, his music and his new book. The man that worked with Jimi Hendrix, the Turtles, Ringo, Chubby Checker, Buddy Miles and many more. Well, he loved it so much, he's come back. Andy Cahan Revisited. Welcome back, Andy.
Hey, I'm really happy to be here, Neil. I love your show. It's so much fun. It really is.
Well, if only the listeners could hear what we've gone through to get this so far.
I know.
Oh dear. Well, we've had a little play about, haven't we, with the audio equipment, and I think we just got it right. And so let's start off with, when we last spoke, what have you been up to?
Oh, well, I've got my own radio show out here in the Palm Springs desert.
Wow, okay.
And it's an oldie show on FM and AM radio, and I have an hour show, 9 p.m. every Saturday evening. And I play music from my book.
Okay, so just to confirm then, you're not playing in an old people's home or in a care centre. You're actually playing from a radio station that plays the old hits.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. So how long have you been doing that?
Last night was my premiere.
Wow. Okay. Your first show of many.
Yes, and it was a little difficult because it was my first time. But luckily it wasn't live. Luckily I was able to edit.
Oh, so you're doing pre-recorded shows then?
Yes, I pre-record the show and do the dialogue and insert the music, and it came out great. Everybody loved it.
Wow, okay. Okay. So you're not only you're a singer, songwriter, you're a producer, you're an editor, you're a journalist, and you're a one-man wrecking crew. You are a musician, and you're the glue of many hit groups that have made it big. So what else is there for you to do? I mean,
well, I really want to come to England and do a book signing tour with my band. So we would, play the music from the book live, and then I would have a question and answer, and people would, I would have a book signing. It would be a lot of fun. I would really look forward to doing that.
Well, you come to England, you let me know where you are, and I will be there.
Oh, okay, definitely. Absolutely.
I'll get your book, and I'll be there for you to sign it. We'll have a couple of photos taken together, and we'll go for a drink. How about that? That sounds pretty good to me.
That's good, as long as you know the Beatles personally.
No, I don't, but this would be a good way of finding out, wouldn't it? This would be a good way of getting to know, the Beatles, getting to know your band. This will be a good place to put me somewhere in that editorial lineup, won't it?
I would love that. That'd be great.
That'd be brilliant. So yes, you let me know where you're going to be signing, and I'll be there definitely.
Yes.
Now
I just a lot of homework involved trying to find the promoters and booking agents and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, that sounds like excellent stuff, that does. But you say you're the most famous musician no one has ever heard of because you have never had a hit record. And yet,
that's correct.
And yet, you have performed on hit records with loads of groups. Now,
yes,
as a talented artist, why haven't you made a hit record yet?
It's the right place and the right time. Certain people get record deals, bam, right off the bat, and other people never really get a deal. As a matter of fact, even though Harry Nilsson was a big star and recorded many albums and recorded with Ringo and John and George and everybody, he was really struggling to get a record deal.
Wow.
When we were recording the songs in my living room, nobody wanted to sign him. And it's just not easy. It's not easy.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's quite shocking, isn't it, really? Because you think if you're part of the Beatles that you think, oh, yes, we'll take him. Like a lot of actors, their children get into the profession and get ahead of the game because of who their parents are. So
exactly.
you would like to think that if you're part of an international band, that you would get hired if you wasn't part of that band. But it obviously doesn't work that way in the music industry.
Right. It's crazy.
It certainly is. And on that note, I'm going to take a quick break because I want to play this song called The Mooch.
Yes.
And it's
One of my favorites.
Yes, and it's such a catchy tune. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. When I was on the road with the Turtles, backstage I started playing the piano part.
Right.
And Craig Cramph, the drummer with the Turtles, said, "Hey, that's really catchy. You ought to try to write a song on that." So I wrote the whole song, and it really was a fun song to write. About being a mooch. Does your wife have any cigarettes around? Because if she does, I'll smoke them to the ground. Stuff like that. And, does your wife have a friend that's all alone? Because if she does, I'd like to use your phone. Really silly stuff. And it worked out great. And I love the Eleanor Rigby string section, the bum, bum, bum. And so I incorporated that with real violin, viola, and cello, all that live strings on the song. And the lead violin player is Richard Greene, who was with a band called It's a Beautiful Day. Do you remember them?
Yes, I do.
And then Eileen Novak was another violin player. She played with a group out here called Chunky Ernie and Novi.
Oh, right.
And,
okay, that's rather catchy.
Yeah. But anyhow, I got the bass player and drummer from the Turtles on this, and so it's just piano, bass, drums, and violins, the string quartet.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
Bill Oz, who is no longer with us, was the singer, and he sang everything first take. Boom, he just sang it. He's just an incredible singer.
Brilliant.
So
well, let's hear that song, because I want to hear. I mean, I've been listening to all your tracks that we're going to play all day today, so they are absolutely mesmerizing, as always. This is The Mooch. When we come back on New Stars Show, we'll be finding out more about this amazing man, Andy Cahan, and his childhood, and why Superman was his biggest fan. Join us right after this.
Does your wife have any cigarettes around? 'Cause if she does, I'll smoke them to the ground. I don't have a car and I need a place to stay. Maybe a drink on hand to watch my
Welcome back to the show. Andy Cahan, the most famous musician that you have never heard of, is with me, all the way from the United States. Andy, tell us more about your growing up, your mum and your dad.
Oh, well, there was really some, they were always very, very supportive of me. When they would, on weekends, get all the uncles and aunts and all the relatives to come over and play cards, I would get up in front of them in the living room and I would play classical music on the phonograph, and I would pretend that I was the conductor. And, I would conduct the orchestra. And I was like 9 years old or 10 years old or something when I did that. So music was really big in my life early on. And my mom and dad really, really supported me every way. And that's probably why
You've turned out the way you have. Did you ever want to be a music conductor?
Yes, when I was a kid, absolutely. I loved it. There was an outdoor concert place in New York called Tanglewood, and everybody sits outdoors on their blankets, and the orchestra plays outdoors. And we used to go to that every year, and I used to love it. I was so excited to hear a live orchestra. Nothing like it.
You were a huge fan of Superman.
Oh, boy.
And
yes.
What was it about him that drew you in? And apart from his cape and his pants over his tights, what was it about Superman?
Yeah. Oh, well, that was basically it, besides him, being Superman and flying and bending steel with his bare hands and doing all crashing through walls. I loved his uniform. I absolutely loved his uniform. And for some reason, my mom or dad didn't buy me a Superman uniform. Maybe they weren't available then. Who knows? But I made my own Superman uniform, and I took socks and put it in my arms to look like I had muscles. And we lived in a house with a very tall stairway. It's like, 2-story stairway. So my mom was at the bottom and I was at the top. And I say, "Hey, Mom, catch me." And I pretended I was Superman, and I dove off the stairway and landed on my face.
Oh.
And smashed my tooth, which today I still have this front tooth that sticks out. But anyway, that's what happened when I tried to be Superman. I crashed into a stairway.
Something that you shouldn't do at home, really.
I know, yes.
Please don't try this at home, because even though he's the most famous musician you've never heard of, he is not invincible.
Yes. Yeah, I'm kind of a dork in some ways. That's true.
So, that was... Did you still, still a big fan of Superman, even though you knew that you couldn't fly?
Yes, absolutely. I had to watch him every show. I watched every show.
And you didn't go crashing off of stairwells again?
Yeah, I never tried to fly after that first attempt.
Okay. It's a good job. It's a good job that Spider-Man wasn't your fan, isn't it, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Superman was the best.
Now, your dad gave you a quick piano lesson, which you nailed the first time, and that was it. You was off and running, wasn't you? And the same with playing the drums. You was given a drum kit, and off you went, causing your own and making your own rhythms. Are you a gifted fast learner?
That's if I love something like the drums or the guitar or the piano, if I love it, I will not give up until I'm competent and I can do it.
Uh-huh.
So it's something that it's built in me. I just love music, and it's exciting and fun, especially when I write a song. I get so much gratification after, listening back to it and going, wow, I wrote that. How cool is that? You know?
Yeah.
So it's just, music is a form of life. I mean, this world cannot exist without music, period. You have to have music. You have to have entertainment. Even animals like music, so it's not just humans.
There is something about music that is a universal language, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. It really, there's so many ways a song can affect you. It can bring back a childhood memory. It can remind you of somebody you were in love with. It can remind you of something that you always wanted to do. I mean, there's so many psychological ramifications of a song that
sorrow.
That's why people like music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And talking of music, we're going to play another track of yours called "Break a Day."
Yes, that song I wrote when I lived in Malibu as an instrumental, and I went over to Jimmy Seals' house of Seals and Crofts. We played 18 holes of golf, and we went back to his house, and I sat at his piano, and I played him that song, and he says, wow, what a cool part. Let me write something to it. So in about 5 minutes, he wrote the melody and lyrics to that song, and we made a quick cassette recording of it, and I did ask him if he wanted to record it with Seals and Crofts, but his manager, Marcia Day, at that time, insisted that it has to be 100% written by Jimmy Seals, and she didn't want to allow any co-writers. But a lady by the name of Patty Dahlstrom, who is a really great singer, she heard the demo, the cassette demo I made, and she says, Andy, I want to record that song. So we went in the studio with Bill Schnee, who was the engineer on a lot of Ringo's stuff, and really good drummer and bass player, Dave Hungate from Toto, and Dave Kemper, who played with Bob Dylan and some other people. So it was just the trio, bass, drums, and piano, and then they had strings and horns overdubbed, and I really like it. It's a great recording, and she did a really good job. She kind of changed the lyrics around to match her story called Break of Day, but the original lyrics were All I Know instead of Break of Day. So it's really a cool song.
It really is. And we're going to hear it right now on New Stars Show, and it's Break a Day.
This I know, I'm gonna stand by you. No matter what others may do or say, you can hide as long as you want to. Or come shine like you shine it my way. Yes, I know those others have hurt you, but together we're free to be anything we say. I'll be yours as long as you want me. You're my light at the break of day. Whether it's wrong or it's right, I am here all my life for you, feeling right with you, and just waiting for you to come hold me. It's fear or love that controls me now. Here I go, falling all over you again. break of day. Together through it all. All I know is love is the answer. In our arms, in our hearts, in our lives, that's the chance we must take. And I've taken myself. You're my light at the break of day. After the longest and loneliest night, you are my light at the break of day.
What did you think of that? That was Break a Day with the famous but unheard of man in the world, Andy Cahan. Andy, you've worked with Dr. John, the Night Tripper. Now, that is not his real name. We know that. Well, in fact, I know that now. As I've done some research, that's his stage name. So, how did your meeting come about with Dr. John?
I got a job when I first moved to California from New York. My mom was very friendly with Irwin Garr, who used to be at ABC Paramount with the Mamas and Papas.
Oh,
and then he started his own label called Pulsar Records. And Dr. John was one of the artists on that label. So my job as a gopher for the record company was to drive the musicians to the recording sessions and take photographs and do all the, the Xerox and do the mail and do all the gopher stuff. Anyway, so Dr. John said, "Would you like to go on the road? We can sure use you." And I was all excited. I was 20 years old, and I played a Baldwin electric harpsichord going through a Hammond Leslie speaker, which was really unheard of. Nobody ever did anything like that. And so Lowell George had a VW bus, and I also had a VW bus. So Mac Rabenak, who is Dr. John, he decided to buy a VW bus. So there were 7 of us and all the equipment in 2 VW buses, and we drove from California to New York to Toronto.
Wow.
And we played a bunch of gigs together. And later on, well, actually, one of those gigs was completely amazing. It was in New York City at a place called Steve Paul's The Scene. It's where Hendrix and a lot of big stars played there. So we were playing there, and backstage was Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, and John Bonham and Booker T.
Oh, right.
So John Bonham and Booker T got up on stage and jammed with us. So there I was, 20 years old, on stage with John Bonham, Booker T, Dr. John, playing all of this crazy music. And it was really a highlight of my career. It was amazing.
Dr. John is very much a psychedelic artist, isn't he? He's very, very trippy, isn't he, with his with some of his music.
Yeah, he always had very Cajun New Orleans, Professor Longhair, all that original type of sound. He grew up with that, and he was really into that stuff. And he was very good guitar player and piano player. And eventually, everybody in the world hired him. He became a self-made millionaire just on his talent of playing piano. Incredible piano player. Really good.
Wow. Tell me, did you ever feel intimidated by these great artists that you are surrounding yourself with?
Well, yeah. When you're sitting next to Jimi Hendrix and recording, and he's like 3 feet away from you, you pick up this amazing energy and aura, and you get goosebumps, and you start, flying into this wondrous world of creativity. It's very exciting. When you work with Little Richard and Chuck Berry and the Turtles and Harry Nilsson and Jimmy Webb and all these people, I really pick up energy from these people because they have a special aura, a talent so it is intimidating, but then I just jump on the wagon and just go for it and try to have as much fun as possible, because that's what music is, fun. If you're not having fun, it's not going to work.
Exactly.
That's the way
exactly. And
Yeah.
it's the same for broadcasting music. If you're not fun playing it,
Yes.
then you're not being authentic with the station that you represent. So it's
Exactly.
you can't be someone broadcasting music if you're not into that music. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Now, we're going to have a listen now to your next song, and it's Me, Myself, and I, and it's by it's by Harry Nilsson.
It was just a movie with Joe Beth Williams and George Siegel. It was an actual movie in the movie theater. We were in my living room, and he said, I got a call to do a soundtrack for a movie where we would do the opening title, and we would do all the filler music for the different scenes in the movie. And I said, sure, let's do it. And I had a 4-track cassette, a Fostex 4-track cassette machine, and a Shure SM58 microphone.
Right.
And a synthesizer that I was able to program all the music on, all the drums, bass, keys, and all. So we sat there in my living room, and he wrote the song called Me, Myself, and I. And we recorded it on a Fostex 4-track cassette, which is amazing. And it came out so good, we mixed it to DAT and sent it to them. And when we went to the premiere of the movie, we were amazed that the sound quality was so great. It really sounded terrific. And we were laughing, because it was recorded in my living room on a cassette player. So it's really very interesting. Very interesting.
It's
Yeah,
surprising, isn't it?
about-
Surprising what you can do from your own home, isn't it, really, with technology? And
I know. And that was back in 1990 or something, or whenever it was. It was 1991, maybe.
Wow. Well, let's hear it, because it's a fantastic song. And it has a little quirky way about it, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love it. It's a Harry Nilsson. He directed me on every note. He told me exactly what to play. And he says, I want a Ringo Starr type drum, dum, dum, and all the keyboard parts and the violins and the horns and the trombone and all the sounds. He directed me. He said, I wanted to do this.
Wow.
So it's really I love the song. It's a great song.
Engineered by Andy Cahan, written by Harry Nilsson, and performed by Andy Cahan. This is Me, Myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I, we'd rather die than to hear it said that you don't love me. heartbreaking we'd cry. There'd be more tears than all the stars above me. I'm not a romantic, my minds are all made up. You could fill my cup if you said you loved me. One of me is frantic, the other two are too. I could swim the Atlantic if only you said I love you. Me, myself, and I would be one happy guy, and all it takes is thinking that you care. Me, myself, and I would never tell a lie. On that we all agree, and that we need you. I'm not superstitious, not I, but four's my lucky number. It's always been that number, don't know why, but it's true. Even now when I think of it, it's all so clear to me that you and me make two, but you and me and me and me.
Welcome back. Got Andy Cahan with me. So, Andy, what's in store for the most famous musician, Andy Cahan?
Well, I'm definitely trying everything I can to promote the book. I've been getting really, really great reviews and a lot of really good feedback because it turns out to be a history book. It's literally, you can actually see photos and contracts and postcards and letters and great memorabilia of all these wonderful celebrity musicians. And so my plan is to do a tour in England and in Australia and the United States and do a book signing tour with my band and, play music from the book live and have a book signing. It would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a great show.
Have you, because last time we spoke, that your book was on sale with Amazon,
yes.
And you was looking for a book deal. Has that come to fruition yet, or is it still just with Amazon?
Well, it's still with Amazon, although a guy out there in England, his name is Neil as well. Let me take a half a second, 1 second. Yeah, a book in England is called Harry and Me, Memories of Harry Nilsson, and it's written by, let's see, I can't find their names here. Neil, anyway, it's a really good book. So I have my own little part in the book where it tells about... it's by David Roberts and Neil Watson.
All right, yeah.
So, do you know those guys? They're from England.
I haven't heard of them per se, but it's going to be one of these big, probably big publishing companies that's done it. So, there's not many. Yeah. There's not many in the UK, really.
Yeah. So, that was kind of exciting to have them include me in their book about Harry. And they used a famous photo I shot of Harry when he wanted to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He put on a bathrobe and he got a shovel, and we went out to my driveway and he pretended he was groundbreaking for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we sent it out to them, and unfortunately he was never inducted. It's really a pity because he should be.
Yeah, yes, he should be. He should be. I'm not quite sure the bathrobe did it, though.
Right. Yeah.
He might as well have worn a shower cap and thought that was a crown.
Yes, right. But anyhow, my book is really a lot of fun. What's really great about it is you don't have to start at the beginning. You can just open it anywhere and be entertained because every page is practically a different story. So it's really a lot of fun.
But it's also designed as a coffee table top book, isn't it? Really, that you just open onto a table and peruse it through.
Yeah, it's a it weighs 2 pounds. I don't know what that is in England. 2 American pounds.
What,
I don't know how to...
in currency or in weight?
In weight.
Oh, right, okay.
What do you guys say? Stones, right?
Yeah, we're stones and pounds and feet and inches.
Right.
Well, we're not. We are actually imperial, but or was it
Right,
metric?
yeah.
No, metric. We're all metric now, but
Yeah, it's really the reason I did a coffee table photo book, because it's got tons of photos, is when I was a child growing up, I didn't enjoy reading. And, in elementary school, I had to read, All Quiet on the Western Front or The Scarlet Letter or Of Mice and Men and all these books. And I really didn't enjoy it. I liked looking at pictures.
yeah.
So when I decided to make my book, I said, I'm going to make it a coffee table picture book that people can look at pictures. So that's what I did. And it really is, a lot of people love it.
I guess that's what is the draw, isn't it? Because people like to see pictures. They don't want to read and read and read unless they are into that. But if they've got loads of pictures and, they can relate to it a lot more, I think, is with pictures. And I think we all do, really. I'm more of a picture man than an actual, an actual reader. I like to see a picture about something, then read about it, because I can relate to it. I can relate to it better.
Yeah, and it made it really easy to write the book because every picture tells a story. So as I was going through my archives, I could refer to my calendar, which I saved as well. So I really had a lot of details behind each photo. So it was really fun to build the book like that.
You are an amazing man, to say the least. And
Thank you.
You've lived such a colourful life, and you continue to live a colourful life. And what you've achieved in your lifetime, people can only dream of achieving. And
I know.
And by looking at your book, it's going to make people think, wow, how did he actually pull it off?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the right place, the right
At the
time.
right time. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So what has been your biggest achievement, the highlights of your life?
Well, I really, I would say being the music director for the Grammys with Little Richard and Chuck Berry. That was huge. I mean, I got to meet everybody. I sat next to Gladys Knight. I hung out with Paul Simon. Andy Williams. A lot of people were there. And, of course, the best part about it was rehearsal. It was just me and Little Richard and Chuck Berry, the three of us in a small little room on an upright piano rehearsing their hit records. So, I mean, it was incredible.
Wow.
That was one of the big ones. And, of course, going over to Ringo Starr's house with Harry Nilsson and playing Ringo's acoustic guitar, and all three of us are singing Don't Pass Me By from the White Album. So, I mean, stuff like that, it's like a dream, but it happened.
Do you ever pinch yourself and think, no, that didn't happen? That did not happen. It's only a dream.
Yeah, well, I accept it immediately.
Of course you do.
But I really get excited about it. Some people are not impressed with celebrity, and I am the opposite. I love celebrity. I love to meet actors. I love to meet artists. I love to meet musicians because they're special. They have a talent. They have some way of conveying, I love celebrity. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that there are different types of celebrity. The celebrities that I've come in contact with, more so on this show, and I say they're like the 80s or the recent, 2000s, and they had their hits and they went to the background a little bit, and now they've been refound and brought back. But they're still celebrities in their own way. And when they come to me and they say, let's get on your show, I like that kind of celebrity because they are grounded. But there are celebrities, I have to say, with their head buried. And, that they're not approachable. They are, arrogant and, whatever.
Yes. I've met several of those. Yeah. Did you want me to tell you about a couple of them, or is that too negative?
Name them. Go on. Name the most arrogant, ignorant celebrities that you've met.
Well, David Clayton Thomas, the lead singer for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. What goes up must come down.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did a concert with him, as an opening act with the band I was in called Geronimo Black. And the curtain was closed and we're walking around on the stage and he's walking right toward me. So I look at him and I go, what goes up must come down. And he looks at me like he wants to kill me. And he gives me these dagger eyes like, you jerk. So, that was David Clayton Thomas. And then, unfortunately, the other celebrity that I met, who wasn't really that nice, was Van Morrison.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we played a gig with him, and backstage he was just walking around, and I said, man, you were so fantastic. You were great. And he just snuffed me off and just walked away. It's just, but, there's people like Harry Nilsson and Ringo Starr and Little Richard and Chuck Berry and Seals and Croft and Dr. John. They're all really normal guys that you can sit there and talk to,
Yeah.
But those two guys were my two lousy encounters.
Yeah, and they are out there. Unfortunately, folks, they are out there. Which is why you can be standing or meet a celebrity in the high street and they'll look at you like you've fallen off the bottom of their shoe. Literally.
I know.
Please, that is like the 2% of celebrities. You will bump into some very nice celebrities, and and I'm very grateful that I have celebrities come on here and tell me, and they tell me just how much some celebrities can be a royal pain in the backside. For the want of better words for the radio, put it that way. Anyway.
Yeah.
So if you could do absolutely anything, what would you do?
I would like to make a movie on my
Can I be in it?
I would like to use my book as the script and literally make a movie about my book, because there's so many really funny and amazing stuff that and what's really amazing is that technology today is so advanced that you can design like Will Smith did a movie where they pulled old footage of him when he was really young and they incorporated it in the movie that he was doing it. So there were two Will Smiths, one today and one from 30 years ago.
Wow.
And with the computer-generated imagery, CGI, you can do anything. So if I did a movie on my book with Little Richard and Chuck Berry and all these people, I could literally have the computer-generated imagery work and simulate the actual stuff. So that would that would be my next step, is to literally make a movie about the book.
Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to make a movie, but you do realise what comes from making a movie, don't you?
You're talking about what, monetary stuff or psychological stuff?
No. I'm talking about whatever becomes a movie usually becomes a theatre play.
Oh, right.
Which then becomes, for you, a musical theatre play.
Well, that's sort of like what I was trying to explain about my book tour, where the band, my band would play the music from the movie. I mean, from the book, from the book. And, so that is sort of like a theater play.
Yeah, but you also have actors playing you growing up in the scene of it.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that would be very cool. I love that.
There you go. So from building a film, which you can still have music, like a musical film, and then becomes a theatre play, and then becomes, hello, retirement. I'm now set up for life. But there you go. You've got so much to look forward to, and that's still to come from you. All I'll say is, audition me for a slot in the film.
Oh, well, you're included, absolutely. You're absolutely included, absolutely. And Vesey Mink as well.
Oh, Vesey, yes. Without Vesey, we would never have got together. Do you realise this?
I love her. She's wonderful. She's such a talented lady.
She is. She very much is. You know what, Andy? Once again, the sands of time have run out. And
boy, it sounds like a song.
It does, doesn't it? It does. But I want to thank you for coming back onto the show. I'm
honored. I love your show, and I always have so much fun. It's really a lot of fun. Really is.
Thank you very much. But Andy Cahan, you are a new star. You are a new star superstar. And I'm going to be playing out with My Little Angel.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
that's a tearjerker.
It is a tearjerker. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I was with a lady for 5 years, and we were going to get married and all this stuff. And then she dropped me for a younger guy.
Ooh,
and I stayed up all night long, and I wrote this song. And I was crying. And I wrote the song, and then I made a cassette, and I drove to her house, and I put it on the doorstep, and I knocked at her door, and then I drove away. And she listened to the song, and at the end of the song, I actually put the voice recording of her on the answer phone, saying that she really loved the song and all that stuff. But it was a very emotional song for me, after 5 years and being completely in love with this woman and then having her drop me like a hot potato. So that really, so that was what My Little Angel was all about, that I lost her. So I love the song. It's a great song.
They say the first cut is the deepest.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, look, we're going to play out with that song, My Little Angel, and you can catch up with all my guests at tinyurl.com/Neil Clark. Now, join me next time when I'll talk to another new star. Take care, be kind to one another. From myself, Neil Clark, and my special guest, Andy Cahan. Say goodbye, Andy.
Well, goodbye, Andy. Wait a second. Ladies and gentlemen, if you should go to Amazon and Google the most famous musician you've never heard of, you will find me. And I hope you buy the book. There you go.
You will. It's out there. I've Googled it. You will find it. Andy Cahan. That's ANDYCAHAN. Andy Cahan. And just Google the name. The most famous musician you have never heard of. He is out there, and he's waiting for you. So from all of us to all of you, goodbye.
Goodbye.
I lost my little
little angel somewhere in the night. She hugged me close and told me everything would be alright. I squeezed her in my arms. It seemed so far away. This couldn't last forever. She'll be gone today. Fly on, my little angel. Fly high out into the midnight sky. Oh, fly on, my midnight angel. Your heart will be a part of me. A part of me. The only way I can hold you in actuality is loving you forever. That's reality. And as I dream about you, of someone real and true, there will never be an angel as beautiful as you. Fly on, my little angel. Fly high out into the midnight sky. Oh, fly on, my midnight angel. Your heart will be a part of me. Oh, your heart will be a part of me. A part of me. Your heart will be a part of me. Oh, your heart will be a part of me. A part of me.
Sweetheart, that song is just absolutely beautiful. And I love you and I thank you.